Alright, and welcome back. So going over Demon Hunter, brand new class in Hearthstone. So Demon Hunters, if you haven't played WoW, they are creatures that use the power of demons to infuse themselves in order to kill other demons. Illidan is the most obvious example of this. So they're a little bit chaotic, they're a little bit, I don't want to say sadistic, masochistic, kind of. Like, they're not afraid to take damage upon themselves or to sacrifice themselves in order to gain their advantage. And that works with the class here because their hero power is one mana to add one attack to its hero. So looking at the class in general, the class is, I would say, very comparable to Rogue and Hunter in some respects. With Rogue, the Demon Hunter is a class that it wants to use early game tempo and its own life in order to gain board control. With Hunter, they're a class that wants to be extremely aggressive. They want to push face. They have the tools to push face and kill people quickly. So the problem with the class is that they're going to take a lot of face damage, but they don't really have a way to deal with big taunts. Rogues are the master of removals. So if you put down a big taunt against Rogue, it's going to get assassinated, or it's going to get sapped, or it's going to get kidnapped, or it's going to get like any of the variety of ways that Rogues have in order to remove things. If you put a taunt down against a Demon Hunter, then Demon Hunter really doesn't have a way to deal with it. And so that's like the big problem with the class. And as good as the cards are for Demon Hunter, because of that, the class is, I'm not going to say, I don't think it's going to be busted in Arena. I mean, I can individually say that the classes are incredibly powerful, the cards are incredibly powerful, but if Demon Hunters get blocked by taunts and they don't have ways to get through the taunts, then they're going to just take damage and they will die before they can succeed. So Demon Hunters, one of the key things they have is their 1-mana hero power that adds 1. And the second thing that they have, and it's not in the basic set, so I have to go over here to the Initiate set, is the Outcast mechanic. So Outcast means, here, a bonus if played as the left or rightmost card in hand. So what this means is if you top deck this card, you can play the Outcast. Or you can hold this card until you've played every single other card in your hand, and it's the far left hand card in your hand, and then play it to get the bonus. So if you take a look, a lot of these Outcast cards, if you get the Outcast effect, is really powerful. So here, silence an enemy minion. That's priest spell for 0 mana. So for 1 more mana, you get Outcast, draw a card. Silence an enemy minion and draw a card would probably be I would say that would be a good 2-mana card. So you can see how powerful Outcast is, and the problem is getting to it. And so, because if you have, in Arena, you're going to have awkward hands. In Arena, you're going to have awkward cards that you cannot play. So especially in the early game, the Outcast mechanic is going to be extremely unreliable. And if you've got tempo Outcast cards, I'm not sure if they have they do not have that many here. Alright, if I go over here, I'll just go to Ashes of Outland, give you an example of this. Okay, so this is an example. Outcast, draw a card. This is almost never going to happen on turn 1. And because of that, that makes this card significantly worse. Imagine if you get, as your first card, an 8-drop. Then this card, its Outcast is never going to happen, and it's just a 2/1. So you can see where the problem lies with this. I think in Arena, it's a lot more difficult to be able to build a deck where you can just get rid of all your stuff, and you can take advantage of Outcast effectively. So I think it's an interesting mechanic. I like the mechanic, but I don't think it's really all that powerful. So, as I said before, Demon Hunters have some of the most powerful cards here. So I should have brought this up in my introduction video. I have point values from 0 to about 130 that I give for each of the cards. For the sake of the YouTube video, I'm just going to go with a star system. All right. So for each card, going very quickly, 1-star card, these 0-star cards. Don't pick these. Never pick these. 1-star cards. These are bad cards. You'll pick them sometimes, but you really are not going to be happy to pick them. 2-star cards. These are below average to average cards. Think your Raptors, think your River Crocs, think cards that really don't do anything. They're filler cards. 3-star cards. These are cards that are good cards to have, but they're not like exceptional. Something like this would be like an injured Blade Master. It's a 3-drop which can get healed. That's pretty good. 4-star card. These are cards that are good cards. They do something, and they're cards you want in your deck. These are the cards you're going to try to get the majority of in your deck. 5-star cards are really powerful cards. They're great cards. They're cards that define a class. They're cards that can win the game. 6-star cards are basically cards I think are probably a little bit too powerful for their effect. And then 7-star cards are cards that really should never have been printed or should be nerfed. If you want a point value for this, so 0-star would be probably anything 0 to 15. 1 would be 15 to 40. 2-star would be probably 40 to 60. 3-star 60 to 75. 4-star 75 to 90. 5-star 90 to 105. 6-star 105 to 120. And 7-star anything over a 120. So that's my system there. All right, so let's start off with the basic cards. Let's take a look. All right. So Shadowhoof Slayer. Battlecry. Give your hero +1 attack this turn. So it's basically 1 mana free hero power. I mean, that's a solid card. There's nothing really exceptional about this. Now, giving your hero 1 attack is really good because there's a lot of synergy with it, and you'll see it with other cards. So I think for this one, this is going to be a 3-star card. It's good. It's not like game breaking or anything, but it's something you want. Chaos Strike. Give your hero 2 attack this turn, draw a card. So 2 mana, give your hero 2 attack, that's pretty bad. Like Pounce is an okay card, and that's at 0 mana. Give your hero 2 attack. Draw a card makes this significantly better. Draw a card like that can be worth up to 2 mana and make up for it. And again, you want to give your hero attack. Drawing a card is good. So again, this is another example of a 3-star card. Okay, Sightless Watcher. Look at 3 cards in your deck. Choose to put 1 on top. This is a lot better than I think most people will realize. If you play the adventure modes, one of Elise's effects was this. Look at 3 cards in your deck, put 1. I'm not sure if it was put 1 on top or if it was draw that card, but being able to do this, being able to choose your draw, being able to change what you draw is really powerful. This is a 4-star card, very easily. Like this is better than pretty much any other 2-drop just because of how much it's going to bail you out. Trust me on that. Okay, Aldrachi Warblades. 3 mana 2/3 weapon with lifesteal. Okay, so 3 mana 2/3 weapon is fine. I'm not going to say it's like great. A 3/2 is better, but a 2/3 is good. Lifesteal is good. We've already seen that there are cards that give you extra damage that are very easy to combo with this. You have your hero power to combo with this. So we have here 4-star card. Coordinated Strike. Summon 3/1/1 Ildari with Rush. So I compare this to there's 2 different comparisons. Number 1 is Unleash the Hounds, which is obviously a much better card. Number 2 is with Bees in Druid, which gives you 4/1/1s, and they basically have Rush, but they have to attack the minion you choose. So the question I ask myself is having 3/1/1s with Rush better than having 4/1/1s that have to attack something? And I think it is. I think the power to be able to split up your minions and be able to like use one to ping off a Divine Shield if necessary, and then use one to kill another minion, I think that's really powerful. And the fact that you can play this and then maybe play another card that benefits from your cards dying, I think that's good. So I would say 4-star card here. Satyr Overseer. After a hero attacks, summon a 2/2 Satyr. So it's 3 mana 4/2, but really because you have a 1 mana hero power, the best way to look at it is 4 mana, 4/2, Battlecry, summon a 1/1, deal 1 damage to a random, deal 1 damage to a minion of your choice. Take a little bit of damage. So that's pretty good. Like you compare this to something like a Mire Keeper, which was very rarely used for the mana ramp, and this is a Mire Keeper that pings, and it can keep on pinging. If this lives, it can keep on going, and it's like it's easy to do 2 damage, but it's not like certain. So this thing will live. So this is again another 4-star card in the basic set. Soul Cleave, Lifesteal. Deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy minions. So a little not as sold on this because of the cost here, and because there aren't that many tools for demon hunters to get spell damage to benefit this. So overall, I would say that this is more of a, I would say low 3-star, high 2-star card, just because the mana cost I don't think justifies the lifesteal. I mean, you still lifesteal for 4, and that's a thing, and demon hunters want that. So that's why it's 3 instead of 2, but it's a low 3 for me. All right, Chaos Nova, deal 4 damage to all minions. We've seen these effects before. So the thing with this is that when you go over the minions, there's a health breakpoint. So 3 damage is a really strong breakpoint, and that's like a Hellfire. And 5 damage is a really strong breakpoint, and that's a Light Bomb or a Fellfire Potion. 4 damage is not really all that much of a breakpoint, so I think it's definitely worse than Hellfire. It's worse than Light Bomb. It's still good. It's still a 4-star card, but you're not going to be able to kill all that much with this. So I don't think it's not broken to me. Gladebound Adept. This is broken. So this is a 6-star card, probably 7-star card. This is like borderline 7 stars. So just to put this in perspective, 5 mana, 7/4, Battlecry, if your hero attack this turn, deal 4 damage. Fire Elemental is a 6 mana, 6/5, Battlecry, deal 3 damage in Shaman. And that's one of the best arena cards there is. So what you have is you have a more offensively statted body, 7/4. You have a better Battlecry, deal 4 damage. And you can guarantee get this off on 6 because of your hero power. And if you have cards like, we go back over here, Shadowhoof Slayer, this can get this card off on turn 6 and develop a 2/1. And spoilers for the Initiate set, there is a 0 mana card here, give your hero +1 attack. So you can combo that, and you can get this off on turn 5. And that's just completely insane. So yeah, where are we here? Gladebound Adept. This is 6 stars very, very easily, borderline 7-star card. And then last card we got here, Inner Demon. So Inner Demon, 8 mana, give your hero 8 attack this turn. What I would compare this to is Pyroblast, because this is one of these effects where the more mana it is, the better the effect is. 1 mana deal 1 is bad. 2 mana deal 2 is bad. 3 mana deal 3 is meh. 4 mana deal 4, eh. 5 mana deal 5, that's where it starts to get okay. 6 mana deal 6, good. 7 mana deal 7, that's like Gorehowl, the first half of Gorehowl, and that's good. 8 mana deal 8 is great. So the problem with this card is that because of the massive cost, you really don't want to use it to kill something. You want to use this as kind of like a finisher, like how Pyroblast is. You don't Pyroblast minions, you Pyroblast a face. You don't Inner Demon to kill minions. You Inner Demon because it's 8 damage of reach in 1 card. And that's where the value is. But it can be taunted out, so you have to take that into account. And people are going to be picking taunts. So I think ultimately this is a 3-star card, but this is a card that's going to define Demon Hunters as a class, even if it's not the most powerful card. So we got those out of the way. Now we go over here to Demon Hunter Initiate. These are cards that are basically going to change throughout the year, throughout the years. So that Demon Hunters have different cards. Like these will not be in. Many of these will probably change next year when they have more Demon Hunter cards around. All right, going over here, Blur. Blur's bad. If you consider this a heal. Like if you attack into a 5-mana minion, you're paying 0 mana, heal 5. That's If you have there's a new weapon, the Warglaze of Azzinoth, that is kind of like a Fool's Bane. Blur plus Fool's Bane, like that's the obvious combo there. But really, you're gonna be, it's gonna be a worse version of heal. This is a 1-star card, just like don't pick it. Twin Slice. Twin Slice, as this is really effective because there's a lot of synergy with your hero attacking. So, like having 2 of these, like these can activate spells or anything with spell synergy. Like if you cast the spell cards. Obviously, I mentioned before that this could activate the Glaive-Bound Adept, the 5-mana 7/4 Battlecry deal 4 if you've attacked this turn. So, really, really good card here. 4-star card. This is going to be a lot more effective than you think it's going to be because sometimes that 0 mana ping and having 2 of them on hand plus all the attack synergy is just really good. Battle Fiend. After hero 1 mana 2/2. After hero attacks, gain 1 mana. Gain 1 attack. Blazing Battle Mage is a good card. This is a good card that can grow, and your hero is going to attack, so this thing is going to grow. So ultimately, this is a 4-star card. Consume Magic. Silence an enemy minion, outcast, draw a card. There's a lot of things you're going to want to silence in this game. There's a lot of things you're going to want to silence. The draw card is a massive bonus if you can get it, but it's not required. Just the ability to silence taunts, or the ability to silence like many of the really, really powerful Death Rattle creatures that are coming in, is going to make this card a worthwhile pick. So 3-star card. Mana Burn. Your 1 mana, your opponent has 2 fewer mana crystals next turn. This is 1 stars. So the reason is this. You're paying 1 mana to overload your opponent for 2 mana. So they will lose 1 mana, but you're paying a card to gain a 1 mana tempo. And that's, you're losing 1 card to gain 1 mana worth of tempo overall. And that's just, it's not worth it. Like they're in constructed, I could see this being played as like a cheap auctioneer spell, or I could see this being played to stop a combo from going off. But in arena, that's not going to matter. So 1 star, don't pick it. Urzul Horror. Death Rattle, add a 2/1 Lost Soul to your hand. We've seen this effect before. This effect is fine. This effect is a 3-star effect, just because you know what you're going to get, and it's going to be solid to okay. If it were Battle Cry, like Firefly, it'd be 4 stars, but it's Death Rattle, so 3. Blade Dance. Deal damage equal to your hero's attack to 3 random enemy minions. So, if you have a weapon, so you could, in theory, use your hero power and then play this. But then that's just a 3-mana version of Arcane Missiles. So, what you really need is you need to somehow have 2 damage worth of attack already to justify this effect. And that's going to happen. It's not going to be reliable, but it is going to happen. So this is like a low 3-star card. I mean, it's good, but it requires combos, and without the combos, it's pretty bad. Feast of Souls. Draw a card for each friendly minion that died this turn. So obviously, you have I forget offhand, it was the 3/1/1s that attack Coordinated Strike. So obviously, if that happens, this is a powerful effect. If you get 2 things to die, this is a good effect. I'm not sold on this being reliable. I'm not sold on this being good enough to justify by itself. Like, if I compare this to a Cult Master, the Cult Master, the Cult Master is going to stick on the board. The Cult Master puts a 4/2 on the board, and the 4/2 will actually contest things. So for this one, I think it's a 2-star card. I'm not sold on it. Like, I think it's a little bit too easy to be a dead card. So I don't like it. Umberwing, 5-star card. Battlecry, deal summon 2 1/1 Fellwings. So I compared this to Paladin has Unidentified Maul. And their best early game Maul is the what I call the Muster Maul, which I forget its exact name, but it's a 2-mana 2/2 weapon that summons 2 1/1s. So Demon Hunters, again, they have an easy way to buff their attack at their hero power in the various cards. They have synergy with minions dying on the board. So all of these are really good effects. So yeah, this is a 2-star. This is a 5-star card. You want to pick this weapon. Sorry. Altruist, the Outcast. After you play the left or rightmost card in your hand, deal 1 damage to all enemies. So what we've seen with Demon Hunters is that most of their class cards are pretty cheap. So it's not going to be all that hard to combo this with the left or rightmost card in your hand and deal 1 damage to all enemies. I'm not certain it, I think that this is an easy 5-star card. Because just the effect is persistent. This is an effect you can combo out. It's like a giant AoE if you get the right hand for it. And I think just the massive tempo you're going to get from this card makes it 5. All right. I-Beam. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. Outcast, this costs 0. So again, I'm kind of ignoring the Outcast because this is a card that you don't want to hold all that long. But deal 3 damage to a minion, heal for 3. You know what? That's pretty good. As I said, the Outcast is a bonus effect, and if that happens, then that's obviously really good. So yeah, this is a 4-star card. Rapscale Naga. After a friendly minion dies, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. So this is like the payoff for all those summon a bunch of small things cards. Because it's epic, you're not going to see it all that much, which is a problem. But I'm not sure if this effect is great. I compare this to Occult Master. Occult Master is a much better body on curve. I would argue that the card draw effect of Occult Master is about the same as this. Because 3 damage to a random enemy is probably like a 1-ish mana effect, especially because it can go face. So I compare, Flame Cannon is 2 mana to deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy is probably like 1 mana. So you're getting a 1 mana effect here versus a 1 mana effect in draw. And if you got the combo, obviously this is insane, but I don't think you're going to reliably have a combo, or you're only going to be able to get 1 or 2 kills off, and then this is going to die because of its low health. So I say 2 stars on this, although if you have the deck, it's really good. Ildari Fellblade, Rush, Outcast, gain immune this turn. This is an easy 5-star card. So just by itself, 4 mana 5/3 Rush would be powerful because you pretty much kill any 3 or 4 drops with it. The Outcast effect turns this into a 4 mana Evasive Worm. And this is an effect where there's so much banked into how strong this Outcast effect is that you really do want to play it as an Outcast. If you top deck it, you want to play it. If you have it in your hand, you want to get everything out of your hand in order to play it. So for me, just the upside of this makes this an easy 5-star card. Like without it, it'd be a 4-star. Without it, a 4/3 Rush should be probably 4 stars. With it, it's easy 5. Raging Fell Screamer, Battlecry. The next demon you play costs 2 less. So I think it's a lot easier to go over here. Let me unpin my thing here. Alright, so if I search Demon, and I search Standard. Demon. There it goes. So here are all the demon cards that are available. So it costs 2 less. 1 mana demon, 1 mana demon, 1 mana demon, 2 mana demon. This will discover a demon. 3 mana demon, 5 mana demon, 5 mana demon, 7 mana demon, 8 mana demon, 9 mana demon. If I go to neutrals, there's also a few demons in there. 2 mana demon, 2 mana demon, 3 mana demon, 3 mana demon. You're not going to pick 4 mana demon, 4 mana demon, 5 mana demon, 4 mana demon, 4 mana demon. Why did I say 5 mana? 4 mana demon. 4-mana demon, 4-mana demon, 4. So you can see there are a good number of demon cards that you're going to get. So because you just need one in your deck to justify this. And a 4/4 on 4 is perfectly fine. So 4 mana 4/4. Let me see here. Cross that out. Okay, why is this not reloading? Okay, Blizzard website. Let me refresh like this. Okay. So, point being, there's a good number of demons that you're going to get. Not all of them are great demons, but this is going to be an effect that will go off. So I would say that this is a 3-star card. Like, without this would be 2. Factoring in the demons, it's 3, and it's more than make up for its stats. Soul Split. This is an unfortunate effect of the set in that Molten Reflection is being remade on so many cards. So this is Molten Reflection except a worse version because it can only be cast on demons and not anything else. And like this is a case where you're going to get demons, but you're not always going to have, like, 1, they're not always going to be big demons. 2, if you don't have any demons, this is just a completely dead card. I was going to say 2, you can't combo this on the same turn with like a lot of the really powerful demons. So I think this is ultimately 1. I would say even 0-star card. I would never pick this. I hate Molten. I really don't like Molten Reflection, and just like putting a restriction like this on it, just no, not for me. Command the Illidari. Summon 6 1/1 Illidari with Rush. Hunter had a card, Locust Swarm, that did the same thing, 6 mana for 7 1/1s. One of the problems though is that you almost always are going to have a minion on the board, so it never really summoned 7 1/1s. Here, summoning 6 1/1s, this is a lot more reliable, and this will pretty much kill any 5-drop, almost any 5-drop in the game, and leave you with something on the board, which is obviously a good thing. Plus, you can split it up. Plus, there's all the cards that benefit from this, like benefit from minions dying. That tangentially, this is a good card. So I'd say, yeah, easy 5 stars. Raft Spike Brute, really, really, really powerful card. 5 mana, 2/6 taunt. Yeah. So why is it powerful? After this is attacked, deal 1 damage to all enemies. In general, this card, like this is a 5-star card, because number 1, this clears off small boards very easily. Number 2, this is very, very likely going to take at least 2 hits to go down. So what you've done is you put a Consecration on a 2/6 taunt for 1 more mana. And like, yeah, that's just insane. Yeah, I love this card. Flame Reaper. 7 mana 4/3. Also damages the minions next to whomever your hero attacks. This is a 7-star card, and this is the best card ever printed in the history of Hearthstone. I say this because in the history of Hearthstone, there's been very, very few cards that have been just like completely broken the game. From Hearth Arena, there's very few cards that have ever broken the 130 barrier. And 2 of them are DK Garrosh, which was an Scourgelord Garrosh, which had this weapon for 8 mana, plus 5 armor, plus transforming your hero power into Whirlwind, and Blazing Longsword, which for 1 brief month propelled Warrior to be the best class in the game because of how powerful that card was. So here, with Flame Reaper, you get, also one more thing, on Hearth Arena, only 2 cards in the history of Hearth Arena have ever hit the 135 mark. One was UI, which has gone down because like everyone has value cards now, and the other one was Scourgelord Garrosh because of the weapon. So if that doesn't say enough, I'll just say this. This is Flame Strike for 7 mana that can be cast 3 times. And it can be buffed with your hero power or many of the other cards that buff your hero's attack. So I don't think I really need to say any more. This is just a completely busted card. This is like the only real downside of this is that if the meta is very heavy, which this meta might be, then you might not be seeing a lot of mid-range stuff getting taken out by this. If people are playing giant taunts and giant minions, then this is not going to be as effective. But I would say maybe this rotation, it might not be the best card ever, but next rotation, it's certainly going to be. Hulking Overfiend. So there was a here 8 mana 5/10 rush. After this minion attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. There was a minion in Rise of Shadows. What was it? Batterhead. And the thing with Batterhead is that it was bucketed in like the bottom half of the first bucket. So because of the bucket system, people never really took the card, never really played with the card. So I think a lot of people never realized just how good Batterhead was. This is Batterhead, which was a 3/12, just except it's 5/10. So a 5/10 is going to be able to kill a lot more things than a Batterhead could. A 5/10 is going to be able to clear off a lot more boards that a Batterhead couldn't. And it's a demon, and you don't really have demon synergy, but there are cards that pull out demons. So this card is going to be really, really good in Arena. 4-star, yeah, 4-star card here. Just really strong card. Okay, Nethrandamas. Battlecry, summon 2 random costs to 0/0 minions. Upgrades each time a friendly minion dies. This is when it's in your hand. So if you play this on curve with nothing, it's 8/8, summon 2 wisps. That's fine. That's its absolute worst case scenario. You're probably going to have 2 to 3 friendly minions die each turn. So after one turn, this becomes an 8/8 that summons 2 4/3s. And that's like Onyxia level powers. After 2, or that's like a Nyxia level strength. After 2 or 3 turns, this basically becomes 8/8, summon 2 10-drops. And now we're talking Dragon Queen Alexstrasza levels of power. And that's not all that hard to pull off. So yeah, this one 6-star card, just absolutely powerful card. Alright, I'm going to make a separate video. I'm going to split the video here. So I'm going to make a separate video about Demon Hunters and Ashes of Outland, because since they don't have the history of cards that other classes do, they get more cards per expansion than other classes. So I'm going to split the video there because they have a lot of cards in their expansions. So I will see you after the next video.